All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to put on our cloud architect hats to tackle one of the biggest decisions in tech right now, choosing the right home for your application. Get this right and you're set up for massive success. But get it wrong, you might as well be building on quicksand.
And let's be really clear about the stakes here. A bad choice isn't about some minor bubs you can patch later. We're talking about something that could fundamentally doom your product from day one. You could write the most brilliant code on the planet, but if it's running on the wrong foundation, it just doesn't matter.
So, this is the big question, right? The one every single developer, every founder has to figure out. And by the end of this, you're going to have a solid framework to answer it like a pro. We're going to break down all the options so you can start thinking like a real cloud architect.
Okay, so this whole decision really boils down to three main paths, and each one has a totally different philosophy behind it. Are you all about raw speed? Do you need absolute ironclad control? Or are you trying to find that perfect balance right in the middle? Let's dig in.
First up is the public cloud. The easiest way to think about this is like renting an apartment in a massive professionally managed skyscraper. You don't own the building, right? Giants like Amazon or Google do, but you get to use their incredible world-class facilities and just pay for what you use. So what's the trade-off? Well, it's pretty clear. You get insane speed and the ability to scale up without ever buying a single server. You can literally deploy your app around the world in minutes. But what's the catch? Well, you do give up some of that fine-grained control, and security becomes a shared job between you and your provider.
This path is an absolute game changer for companies that need to move fast and deal with wild swings in traffic. Think about Netflix on a Friday night or Airbnb on a holiday weekend. They totally rely on the public cloud's power to handle that huge demand in an instant. Next up, we have the complete opposite, the private cloud. If the public cloud is renting that apartment, this is like designing and building your own custom mansion from the ground up. Every single thing. The servers, the network, the security, it's all yours, built exclusively for you. With this model, you're making a very deliberate trade. You're giving up the speed of the public cloud in exchange for maximum total control and security. Yeah, it's super expensive and way slower to scale, but you get the final word on every little piece of it. You're basically building your own digital fortress.
And this is exactly why it's the only real choice for industries where security and regulations are everything. For a bank that's protecting financial data or a defense agency handling classified info, that kind of absolute control isn't just a nice to have, it's a must-have. Our third path, the hybrid cloud, is all about trying to get the best of both worlds. Picture this. You own a super secure vault, your private cloud, for your most valuable stuff. But right next door, you rent a massive flexible warehouse, the public cloud, for everything else. You keep your sensitive data safe and sound, but you still get to use the public cloud's power for everything else. Now, this hybrid approach offers some amazing flexibility. You can optimize your costs, move things around at your own pace, but, and this is a big but, that flexibility comes with a price, and that price is complexity. Managing that bridge between your private setup and the public cloud, that takes a seriously skilled team.
Okay, so you get the paths. Now let's meet the champions, the huge providers that actually offer all the tools you need to build on them. See, it's not just about picking a model, it's also about picking the right partner for the job.
Let's do a quick rundown. First, you've got AWS. They're the original, the market leader with the biggest set of tools, which is why so many startups love them. Then there's Azure, the enterprise favorite. It's built by Microsoft, so it plugs into that world perfectly and is fantastic for hybrid setups. And finally, there's GCP, which is an absolute powerhouse for anything involving huge amounts of data, AI, and modern container-based apps. So, we've covered a ton of ground. How do you actually put it all together and make a choice? Well, this final section is exactly that. It's your blueprint, a simple way to match what your project really needs with the right model and the right provider. Think of this as your cheat sheet. When you're stuck, just come back to this. You need to launch a startup fast and get ready for huge scale? Public cloud, probably AWS. You need to plug into existing enterprise systems? You're probably looking at a hybrid setup with Azure. Building the next big thing in AI? Public cloud with GCP is your best bet. This is how you start to think like a real architect. So, we figured out where your app should live, but that just opens the door to the next massive question. Knowing the where is just the start. The next, and maybe even bigger challenge, is how do you actually manage building and deploying on it reliably when you're dealing with massive scale? And that, my friends, is a whole other world.